Hello and welcome. This is Master. In this episode, we are going to take a look at how you can use feint movements defensively. Mainly there are two different cases using feint movement. The first case, as we talked about in previous episode, how to use feint movements offensively. In that case, you are the one who aggressive than your opponent. Your opponent playing defensive, you are the one who playing offensive. In that case, you want to use it to break your opponent's balance or concentration to prevent lose your point by your opponent's counter. However, in this episode, we are going to take a look at how you can use your feint movements defensively when your opponent is a lot more aggressive than you. Same as if you want to play defensive. Before you get any further, I would like to point out that if you want to respond after you identify your opponent to kick, after actually you seeing your opponent to kick, you are always one tempo slower. You will telling us that your feint movements and your follow-up correspond to your opponent's reaction have to be done at the same time. Feint or step back, or feint or pivot back, or feint or kick. All depends on your opponent's reaction. You have to prepare. You have to anticipate your opponent's correct movements before you feint movements. In order to do that, you are able to quickly evaluate, analyze your opponent's style. Usually in first round, first 30 seconds or minute or beginning of the game in first round. So prior to your feint movements, so you will be able to anticipate your opponent's movements more accurately. If your guess doesn't right, it doesn't really matter. You can start all of a whole new sequence. After feint, you stepped away. If your partner doesn't react or doesn't do any kick that you expected, it doesn't really matter. You can start all over. All right, that's all for this episode. I will see you next time.